Well, thanks for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Uh, well, I'm 77 years old. Have lived here in Spring for 18 years. Wow, 18 years.
And you like baseball?
I am a big baseball fan. Retired. Have worked in accounting or financial reporting positions for most of my career. I was in data processing way back in the 60s and 70s. Graduated from Lamar University. At the time, it was Lamar State College of Technology
In Beaumont?
in Beaumont.
Oh, wow.
Bachelor's degree, BBA in accounting.
And back when you were doing data processing, this is like before the personal computer. This is like
This
big
was,
mainframes.
Well, it wasn't a big mainframe, but it was a mainframe. It was IBM 360 Model 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like central unit was like little terminals connected to it.
No terminals.
No terminals.
Central processing unit. And a sorter over here, and this was the first generation of mainframes that were easily programmable, I guess. Before that, they were more scientific. 1130s where you had to know COBOL and everything. The 36020, the programming language is RPG, report program generator. So you just kind of decided how you want what you wanted your report, and then you sit down and write the coding for it. And
Was it punch?
I was really good at that.
Punch cards?
Yeah. All the input was punch card.
Wow.
I worked for the city of Beaumont, and we did water bills and tax bills and all the stuff for the municipal court and all sorts of different departments. Accounting, of course.
I lived in Beaumont in the early 1980s.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and then I grew up in Orangefield, which was not too far away from there. So that's like my neck of the woods, as they say.
I left Beaumont in '79, so.
And we probably just missed each other.
So I was leaving. I moved to New Orleans. I was going that way. You were probably coming this way. Anyway.
Well, did you know NASA's planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
I have heard that, yes.
What do you think about it?
Hey, why not? I think it's a pretty good idea. I wonder, is there going to be as much enthusiasm in the funding arena now as there was back in the 60s? I mean, when you have Kennedy behind you and the government behind you, you can pretty much have a blank check. Today, I don't know if that's still the case. I don't know. I just really don't know.
And also whenever you had the Soviet Union launching the first satellite, the first animal to space, the first astronaut.
There was a lot of, we can't let those guys beat us, and that loosened up the purse strings for a while too, I'll bet you. So now, I think it's a good idea. I guess they're planning on using that as a staging base, or looking to see if they can use that as a staging base for exploration onto Mars.
Well, definitely a proving ground, testing ground, learning to do things. Where do you see humanity in 200 years?
200 years? Wow. I don't know. Humanity is resilient. I think we'll do fine. I think there's a lot of crazy people out there right now that I don't know how we're going to survive them, but assuming that we will, 200 years, well, mankind will still be here. Will they be in Mars, be still on Earth? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't really have much of a thought on that. I truly don't.
You know, every time I read a little bit about history, like President Garfield being his assassin, you know, it feels like we've always had crazy people with us.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's no different today than it was in the 60s, than it was in the 30s, than it was in the 20s. Yeah, it's not really changed. The I guess for lack of a better term, the wattage of the threats that they all have at their disposal, probably a lot more significant than they were back in the 1800s.
I know in the 1800s they couldn't crash planes into anything.
Yeah, and there were a lot fewer people back then, so even if they did crash a plane, there were not going to be as many people involved in the aftermath as there are today.
And there were fewer people to be crazy too.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I hope so. Percentage-wise, it's maybe been about the same, but
About the same.
anyway.
Would you take a trip to space if you could?
I would be interested in going. I guess it would depend on how you would define space. I think it would be really interesting to go up in something like Blue Origin, the SpaceX, where you go up to the edge and then you come back down.
Mm-hmm.
Going beyond that, I don't know. At my age, I'm not sure I'd be that interested. If you'd asked me that 20, 30, 40 years ago, yeah, I'd be interested. So.
In 200 years from now, can you imagine a high schooler doing a history project on the 2020s?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think would be worth writing about, or that you hope would be worth writing about in 200 years about this decade?
Well, I hope it's not writing about the demise of the United States. Because we forgot what democracy meant. Beyond that, I don't know, because my grandmother died in 79. She was born in 1894. And after her funeral, all of us cousins sat around, kind of marveled at, like, just think what she experienced in her lifetime. When she was born, you walked or you rode a horse, or you might be in a horse-drawn buggy.
Mm-hmm.
People moved around and still moved in covered wagons, at least in the part of Kansas we were from. And when she died in 79, we had already sent someone to the moon and had telephones before they had to kind of yell down the holler or yell across the creek to get in touch with someone, or my gosh, actually walk over there and talk to them face to face. So yeah, just in that 80-year period, what marveled us was how much things had changed, and we thought that'll never happen in our lifetime. Well, indeed it has. In our lifetime. I was born in 45, and we've gone from the main communication method was what was it? Telephone system that shared lines. You had to ring them up and ask the operator to connect you to so-and-so. Newspapers were the main method of getting news out. Nowadays, it's all on a cell phone.
Yeah.
Everything you need is on that cell phone, including a computer, news, entertainment, music. Everything you want is on that little
Maps.
Yeah, everything.
It's amazing.
Copies of you can read the Bible on there. You can read all sorts of stuff. It's so that's just in that, again, from 45 to 22 in 75 plus years, we've changed from, people could get around back then by flying. It'd take quite a long time to fly from New York to Los Angeles. Now you can fly it 4.5 hours.
And you could buy a ticket same day, just
Buy it, yep, get up and go. And if you got enough money, they're looking at bringing back the supersonic transport, and you may be able to make it in an hour and a half. Or if you go up in a rocket ship, you can get there in 33 minutes.
I know. It may take you a week to recover, but
Be a
you
while
get there.
away. The landing might be kind of tough, but anyway.
That's awesome. I really appreciate your time.
You bet.